3, 2, 1. This is happening, guys. So in this video, we're going to continue on building our responsive website, and we left off by building the contact page. So if you guys are following along, this is actually a series. We have created this website which has some responsive animations in them and some animations in them. It has 3 pages, and the last part that we're going to take care of is this contact form. And what this is a contact page, and what this contact page has is this part right here, which is done by JavaScript. So in this video, we're going to take care of this entire page and also this part, which will display the day, the month, the day again, but with the date, the year, and if it's a specific day, then it's closed, and it's not, then it's opened. So actually, let me just change this in JavaScript. So for example, if I would change this to another date, then it's open, and if I would change the hour, then it's also closed or opened. Let's go back with the hour 18. Now it should be closed. Okay, because the time is now actually after 18. Okay guys, so let's jump into the tutorial, but before we do that, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell in order to get notified whenever I post a video. So let's get into the tutorial now. Okay, we now need to create the contact form. So in our HTML, we had that last section named contact. And in this section, we'll now create a div. Let's just say class with a section container class again. And this will contain actually everything. So it will contain the text container. So I could just copy this text container from here. There we have it. So from here to here. And as always, guys and girls, if there are some girls listening, all of the code and the images and everything will be down in the description below for you to download. Okay, let's paste this in here. Now let's go outside this container. So this is closed here, and let's create another container for the content. So we give this a class of contact container. Okay, within here we'll have 2 separate divs, one being the image that we had up here and one being the form down here. Okay, so let's type in the first class of image container. Actually, this would be image contact. And within this, we have an h2 with opening hours, and underneath of this, an h3 with from (7:00) till 24. So that's it for this div. Now let's go underneath this. Let's see. There we have it. Now let's create another div with a class of form container. Within our form container is where we're going to create our form tag. And actually, I don't want to give this a class, but within the form, we'll first create an input with a type of text. We will give this a ID of name and a placeholder of your name. Next up, we'll create a div with a class of table occasions. And within this div, we'll now create a selector. So a select and this will have an ID, a name of table, and the ID of also table. Now within our select tag, we'll now put in some options. The first option will have the value of breakfast. And also here, breakfast. Now let's copy this option 2 more times. And let's replace the second one with dinner. And the last one with party. Actually, I'm going to select both of them. Type in party. And this is dinner. Okay, after our select tag, now create another select tag. With the name of table again. And also the ID of table. So I'm just going to copy the name into the ID. Now we'll have a few options. So option, this will be for 2 and also table for 2. Then let's copy this 1, 2, 3 times again. And we'll replace the table for 2 with 3, then 4. No, wait, this should be 4, then 6 persons and 8. Okay, we have these options. Now, after our div, which closes, this class of table occasion, we'll now create a label for the subject. And we'll type in here specify or special request. Now underneath the label, we'll create a text area. The text area tag. We don't need, so we'll go with the name of subject, the ID of subject. We don't need the rows and the columns. But what we do need is a placeholder. And we'll type in here, write something. And we'll just give this a inline style, which we normally don't do, but this time we will. So a style of height 100 pixels. Okay, after our text area, we'll now create another input tag with a type of submit and the value. We'll type in here send reservation. That's kind of it. And last thing, in order not to forget this, is create a script tag where we'll include our app.js, which we also need to create in here. So new file, app.js. Okay, now we got this part finished. Now let's start styling. So we had this finished. Okay, jump in here when we have contact. And let's start styling our contact form. So we had the section ID of contact. Then within the text container. So we're only targeting this text container. We have it. Form container, image. And there we have it. This text container within the ID with a section within the section with the ID of contact. Okay, we're going to give this a width of 100%, and that's basically it. Now we will target the contact container and now let's change the background color to white. Now actually DDD. Then the height of 100 to 100 viewport heights, the width to 100% of its container. So we will take up the entire width of this. Then we will display it as grid. And now let's separate it into two columns with a grid template actually into two rows. Grid template row 60%, this will be 60% to the top and 40% to the bottom. And let me also increase the font weight of everything that we have in here. So font weight to 600. Okay, so if I hit F12 now, and I go to my selector tools and select this container, you can see it's split up into two grids. Let me select this section contact, container. Where do we have it? There we have it. The contact container. As you can see, it's split up into two grids. Okay, let's close this up. Now let's take care of the images. Actually, one image. So image contact. Duct. Okay, we're going to grab onto the class of image underscore contact. Now we are going to take the background with the URL. And let's jump now into our image folder, and within our contact we have this image. Okay, now let's position it. So first of all, no repeat, center, this is the shorthand for the positioning properties of a background image. Center again, and then backslash cover. So there we have our container, our image contained nice and tight within its container. Now also let me include this animation. So the animation that we created in the first video with the text, it should appear 3 seconds. Now we need the text right here. And we're going to take care of this right away. So let's go further on and take the image contact, and within this the h2s and the class of image contact and the h3. So let's give them a color of white. So there's our text right here. Let's start positioning it relative, text align center, text shadow, and we have it, shadow 2 pixels, 2 pixels, 5 pixels, and the color black. Now let's increase their font size to 8.5 rem. They should be from the top 20% down with a line height of 2.5. And let's also include in here the animation of text. 3 seconds, ease out. Okay, now let's take the class of image contact, and within this the h3, and let's decrease its font size to 3.5 rem. Okay, now something really important. I'm going to create a class. I'm going to call this date and state. And wait just a second, we didn't create this in our HTML until now. So we have to include it now. And this is where these two texts will live. So I'm just going to style them, but don't actually do anything with them right now. We're going to include this into our text container, and to be more specific, right underneath our H1. So this now services, hoppala. This should be contact. Keep forgetting to change the title. Okay, so this is the contact page. And within here, we're just going to create a paragraph tag with the ID of date. And I actually want to wrap this paragraph tag into a div with a class of date state. Okay, so let's take this closing div and place it after paragraph tag. And under paragraph tag, I'll create a span with the ID of state. And we will leave both of them open, so the paragraph and the span tag. And this is where our JavaScript will be pushed in. Okay, now let's get back to styling and style our contact form. And actually finish styling our date and state. So text align. Now I'm going to do this. Well, actually I'm going to do this right now, but comment it out and then comment it back in when we take care of this in JavaScript. Or should we take care of this right now? Nah, after we have our form. Okay, so date and state, text align, center. But now you can't see anything right now, so I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to leave it in here and come back to it. Okay, now after our date and state, we'll create here another comment for contact form. Now let's take the class of form container and let's first of all have a box sizing box shadow, box sizing of border box. Now we're going to give this a width of 100% and a height of also 100%. We'll change the background color to the hash of 106085. It should have the same background color as the background of our left side right here. Now let's give it a padding all around of 2 rem, a position relative. Let's also include a animation here, and I'm also going to create the animation right now. So we create animation by using @keyframe. I'm going to give this a name the animation form, and it's going to go from this form, and this is going to go from the left with minus 1000 pixels to the left, its initial position of 0. Okay, now let's take this animation, include it here, that to have a duration of 2 seconds. And that's pretty much it. So there we have it. Now the form animates in with the animation of 2 seconds. from the left, from minus 1000 pixels to its initial position. Okay, now let's take care of all the inputs. Now we'll take the input with a type of text and also the select and also the text area. And all three of them should have a width of 100% of their container. This will take up the entire container now. Then a padding of 12 pixels, a border of 1 pixel solid and hash CCC. Then a border radius, actually press the caps lock there. So border radius of 4 pixels. You can see how the borders are just cut down a bit right here. Then box sizing, border box, margin to the top, so it's pushed down a bit, of 1 rem. Actually, let's just go with 6 pixels. Then a margin from the bottom of 1 rem and resize vertical. Okay, we have now this, and now let's take the input with the type of submit, type equals submit, and we'll also give this a width of 100%. Then a background color of hash 4CA F50. This will be a green color. The color of the text should be completely white. You can see how. So this submit button right here. Then let's give this a padding from top and bottom of 12 pixels and left and right 20 pixels. Now let's increase the font size to just large. Take out the border, so border none. Give it a border radius as everything else, so 4 pixels. And when we go over it, the cursor should be pointer. So check this out. If I go over it, the cursor is pointer now. Okay, now let's take the same input tag of submit, but let's edit a hover state. So when we hover over our input state, we want the background color to change to hash 45A09 049. Check this out. If I hover it, it just turns a bit darker. Okay, now let's take the class of container. Where do we have it? Oh, that's table. Where do we have it? Trying to lose classes here. Ah, there we have it. Table occasion. Let's take this class, and I want these two to be aligned one to another. So we will just display them as flex. So now we can select our type of reservation for breakfast, let's say for four people, and then send, and it submits. Okay, so we're taking care of this part. Now let's go and make it responsive. So let's hit right click, inspect or F12 and turn this into a iPad. And we don't have to style so much within this, just the text right here, because this is actually too large. Now let's go down here, and within our media screen for the tablet, we are just going to take the class of image, contact, within this the H2 and the H3. And we'll decrease the font size to 3.5 rem and the line height to 2.5. Let's hit save. What is it? Oh, something broke. No problem, we just open it again. Right click, right server, live server, close this. And on our contact page, there we have it. Now let's inspect it. We are in a tablet format. Go back to our CSS. Now let's take this class of H3. So image contact H3. And let's decrease the font size to 1.5 rem. I'm starting to have problems with my... Come on, boo-boo. Okay, let's just stop and start over again. There we have it. Okay, now let's go down in the mobile format. And let's do here comments. So this is the contact section. And the contact section, we are also going to work. Let me just go down into phone format. Yeah, only with this, because everything else seems to be looking fine. So form container padding 0.2 rem. This should take care of. What is up with the live server today? Okay, let me continue on styling this, because this won't take too much long. So we had this. I could just copy this from the tablet format and paste it down here in the phone format, and we're going to go with 2.5 rem, line height of 2.5, and from the top I'm going to just push it down 10 viewport heights, and the H3 is actually going to stay the same. Oh, we need it in here. Okay, now let's stop the live server again, start it again, go into our contact form, take a look at it in mobile, and there we have it. Okay, now let's take care of that JavaScript part. Actually, I can close everything now up and just leave this one open. Okay, so as I said, we created here a div. Where do we have it? Not after the form. So section contact. There we have it. Date and state. These two. Let's jump into our JavaScript file now. And we also see there's something oranges here. That means we need to take care of this right here. We have to style it. But first, let's do the JavaScript part. So I'm going to create a const. I'm going to call this today. And we will assign it to a new date. Just leave this open. Now, we will type in document dot get element by ID. Now we'll take the ID of date from our HTML, so this one where the paragraph is, and tell it from it in an HTML. This is going to be assigned to this const that we created today dot do to date string. As you can see, it's already displaying today's date. So this Wednesday, March the 18th, 2020. So that takes care of this part. Now let's create another const. And we'll call this opening. And we'll assign this to document get element by ID. Now we will take the second ID that we created down here. Underneath our date, the state. So is it open or is it closed? Now a few things. So day, we are here referring to days of the week. And JavaScript, we have the get day function. And this takes in a day from 0 to 6. And 0 is actually Sunday. Got it? So 0 Sunday, 1 Monday, and so far and so on. Now it also takes in a hour function. The hour function is get hour. Hours. Yeah, more hours. And these are from 0 to 23. 0 being midnight. Now we want to compare if the day and the hour are opening hours, and if it's not Sunday, then it should be open, and if it's past the opening hours, then it should be closed. So we'll do this by creating an if statement, and we'll tell it that today dot get day, and if it's for example 0, then it's Sunday, okay? Or today dot get hour, and for this we'll assign the hour 0. So if it's 0 o'clock or 24, or today dot get hour, if it's less or equal to, let's say 19. So if all of this is true, then we'll create a function. So actually, let me just console log, or let's type in alert. Alert closed. Else, if this is not true, then alert open. Now let's change the day. So today is not Sunday. If I change it to 1, I'll say close because we are on the 17th. Greater than. Open. Okay? If I change it to 0, or if I change it to today actually, so this would be the 4th day. No, the 3rd day is closed. Okay, so because this is the 4th day. Now let's comment this out, the alerts. And now let's start creating a function first of all. So function, we call the function display state. Now let's create a cons within this function. The name of state, we'll assign it to document.getElement. So document create element, because we want to create an element. And we want to create a span. Then the state.innerHTML should be equal to the string of closed and state.style, so we can style it from our JavaScript, .color should be the string of red, actually not the string, but we'll assign the color of red, and then state.style.fontWeight should be bold. Now we'll call this cons that we created opening, because with this cons we actually grabbing onto the ID of state, and now dot append child, and we will append the state. So what do we have now? Close. Okay, now let's change it to another day. I actually have to also populate it. And we forgot to return. So return, because the function returns state. Now let's take the same function that we created up here and copy it in our else. But this time we're going to change this to opened. And the color should be light green. Okay, so let's check out what we did wrong. We didn't call it. And I think I'm also outside. Yeah, so I have to close it. And then now let's call this function. For this, we're going to document add event listener. In order for this to be displayed, we are now going to listen to the event of DOM content load. This will listen when the DOM loads, and when the DOM loads, we want this function to be activated. Okay, so now it's open, and if I change it to today, then it's closed. And also if I change the hours, so 18, change this, but leave the hours change, it's closed, and now it's open. Okay, now all we have to do now is just style it, because I don't like how this looks. Let's increase the font size to 2 rem and text align to the center. And that's it. That's it for this tutorial. So we have everything responsive, we have everything set up. Let's go over this again. Mobile format, Wednesday, March the 18th, 2020. It's open. Let's go to iPad format, services, home. See the text appearing with its animations, the services, also the text appearing with its animations. And that's basically it for this tutorial. Okay guys, so hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel if you did. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Thumbs down if you didn't. Leave some comments what should be the next tutorial about. And hit the notification bell in order to get notified when I post a video like this. Okay, thank you a lot guys. See you next time, or catch you next time. Bye bye.